Hey guys, welcome to this next episode of the Strong Dad Army podcast. And this week, my guests, for the second time, even though you won't have heard them before, and I'll explain that a bit more, maybe a bit later on, the Lads to Dads podcast. Ben and Matt, how are you, fellas?
Very good, thank you. Dan, how are you?
Thanks for having us on again, Dan.
Yeah, nice to speak to you again. So before we go any further, I'll explain what happened was we recorded a few weeks back. I played it back. I was ready to post the episode, and the sound was just absolute dog shit. So I messaged the guys back, said it's too poor for me to be putting up, and they were good enough to rearrange. So we're going to act like we've never spoken before. But who knows? They might tell me some different stories this time. So we'll see. Right, fellas. So if you don't mind introducing yourselves for whether it's the listeners or anyone watching YouTube, if you take your time, tell us a bit about yourself and what the Lads to Dads are podcast and blog is all about.
No, you crack on, mate.
Yeah, well, we're a couple of dads. We who had a lifestyle a bit, laddie lifestyle. We met at uni. We used to go out on the weekend every weekend and just hit the beers, get drunk, get into all sorts of trouble and scrapes and whatnot. And then eventually, roll on 10 years later, we both found out our partners were expecting at the same time, and then it was a brand new chapter of our lives. So it was all mainly focusing on all the stuff that people don't talk about as parents, people that dads don't necessarily talk about all the time, keep to themselves. And just we've got a blog, we've got a website, we've got a podcast, we've got all sorts going on. We've got our YouTube channel now, and we just try and give everyone a little bit of entertainment when it comes to parenting, rather than just the same old mumbo jumbo or new well stuff. It's just reality.
Nice. So when did this sort of become an idea for you? What was the first little thing that you thought, other people would be interested in hearing about this or seeing this or whatever?
Probably just over a year ago, wasn't it? About 18 months ago.
Right.
I was struggling with depression, not knowing that I had it. I just got married and I just had a baby. And like you say, they're the things in life, the pinnacles in life that you look up to, and be like, they're the moments of maybe your most happiest.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I just got married and I had a baby, and I couldn't shake this feeling of, I felt like I was just going nowhere. And I turned to drink, I turned to other things that I shouldn't have been doing. And Matt, being the bloke he is, like my best mate, he was there to pick me up and, let me know that actually, mate, people do go through this. We'll get through this. You need to go see someone. You need to go see someone. I'm batting his comments away, saying, no, I don't need anyone. I'm fine. I'll be all right in a couple of weeks. I'll be fine. Not realising that the long-lasting damage it was doing, not just to my health, but to my family. So then I took Matt's advice, hit rock bottom, went to see someone, and straight away said, you're suffering from depression, from what I heard.
Yeah.
We need to stop drinking, stop going out, stop doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. And we need to manage that before, so we can get in the cycle of getting you back on the mend.
Mm-hmm.
Still being a bit reluctant, I thought, I'll be all right in a couple of weeks, and still found myself not getting any better. And then me and Matt, I'd ring Matt. I was going for a really bad patch with my wife. We were about to split up because of whatever happened with, going through all this. She couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah. And Matt was like my go-to guy to talk to, who I'd get everything off my chest of how I really felt. That maybe I wouldn't say to doctors, I wouldn't say to therapists, because he was my best mate, knew he wouldn't judge me. And we'd always end it by just having a laugh, like talking utter bollocks, excuse my French. And we just kept going, talking for hours, and it'd be like constantly like stomach hurting laughter. Mm-hmm. And we just thought, imagine if other people, like people going through this sort of stuff, didn't get that break at the end of like the laughter to try and because laughter for me is medicine. Absolutely. Same with like exercise is medicine. Laughter for me is massive medicine. If I find making me laugh, it can change my whole mood.
Yeah.
And Matt and I, we're exactly built the same with that. That's all we like to do, is just have a laugh. And when you become parents, you sort of feel like you hang up your boots of going out with your friends and connecting connecting as much as you used to. Mm-hmm. But me and Matt always managed to keep that connection through, if it was just a phone call, I was treating Matt like my therapist, really. But then we just realised, we thought, you know, I got into a better space. Everything got back on track with me. Realised what I needed to do. Matt was there alongside me as well, helped me patching things up. And still, we remained having this like constant banter about slagging ourselves off, you know, saying how bad things are for us, but then always turn around and like, you know, like making a joke out of it to, you know, shed light on it and make you feel a bit better. And we just thought, how many other people must be going through this? Mm-hmm. If we could go out, if we could do a podcast or a blog of some sort that people could relate to and get that laughter across some serious topics, not trying to, like, say, put a laugh across it, like it doesn't mean anything, but try and make people a bit more happier. Yeah. We thought, well, why don't we do a podcast? So as we used to talk on the phone for hours, we just put it onto a podcast, and that's it. We've had some great feedback and quite a lot of followers, and people seem to like what we're doing. So, yeah.
Well, I think that was the shock, wasn't it? It was the fact that, yeah, we thought we'd put it out there and maybe there'd be a few people. But in reality, it turns out a lot of blokes, especially, as women as well, really want to get involved and see the dad's side of parenting and mental health and everything else like that. But it just shocked us how many blokes maybe would message and say, you know what, thanks for that episode. It's really, you know, it's really cheered me up, or it's really made me think actually I'm not alone in feeling like this, yeah. Or, you know, and that's really sort of rewarding in a way. It's nice.
When we get a message come through, it sort of makes you realise you're doing it for a good cause as well.
Because we don't do it to set out to be some sort of martyrs or, you know, some sort of like saviour, or, you know, we just do it because we enjoy having a laugh with each other. But when you hear somebody turn around and go, oh, that's really made me feel happy, actually you think, well, there's somebody listening and it's making some sort of difference. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I suppose, I mean, just to touch on what you're saying about, you know, when you and your wife were going through some difficult period, you know, when you had the little one and you were turning to drink and other things like that. I think, you know, I'm sure I'd be right in saying there'd be so many fellas, I mean, even women as well, but, you know, particularly because we're talking about you two as fellas and as dads, there'd be so many guys that just wouldn't even take that step to go and speak to anybody, because it's natural, isn't it? We bottle our feelings up quite often, you know. And am I right in saying that? Is that?
Well, I'm that bloke. I'm the bloke who, I don't go to the doctors, don't need no one to tell me how to do anything. How I was brought up, you know, my family are like a Scottish family. They're all Scottish tough jocks, and
yeah.
You know, it's you know, I don't cry. If I was going to cry, they give me something to cry about. You know what I mean? You get clipped round the ear, shake yourself down, fucking get on with it. And then something was happening, but I had nowhere to turn, because I couldn't turn to my family because they'd just batter away. And then I'd start to, you know, try and get an escape, going out with the boys, maybe trying to clutch on to, you know, the lifestyle before having kids and wife.
Yeah.
And it was just leading me down the wrong path, and, you know, really struggled with depression without even realising I had it. I've had it for a couple of years. Well, I've had it for a long time, but not really like acted on it. And then getting it all out into the open, like a lot of the podcasts for me is therapy. It's a good place to voice my opinions and voice how I feel at the moment. And Matt's credit to Matt, he's stuck by me the whole way.
I think, like as you say about as blokes, we're not you know, we're not designed to go and seek help and things like that. But I think I was the same as well. You know, for years. I mean, I still, you know, fan. When it comes to crying and everything else like that, I'm not great. You know, if it ever does happen, it does it in private and things like that. But but that shouldn't really be the way, you know. But at the same time, it's you are who you are and you do what you do. But I think as blokes, we've got I think a lot of the time we've got a bit of an ego problem. I think we let our ego get in the way of stuff, and even to the point of, you know, you'll watch. I used to be one where I wouldn't ask for directions. I'd want to find my way there. And then it's your ego. And
that's why you're always late.
That's why I'm always late, right? But then one day I just thought, you know what? Like, just suck it up. Just ask somebody. It's quicker. Or, like, you know, if you want to fix something, just read the bloody instructions. Don't try and fix it yourself and then have to redo it 4 or 5 times. And it's the same with mental health, I think. Like, it's the same as what we do. We do it with directions places. We do it with reading instructions. We do it with everything. And it's the same with our minds. We sit there and go, well, I'll be able to fix it because I'm a bloke and I'll be able to do it. I'm not going to have some other bloke or some other, you know, woman in a place telling me how to do it, or, you know, how to how to fix my own mind. In reality, it's what they went to uni and got masters in and everything else like that for years and years because they've read the instructions. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to.
I think as well that, I mean, I don't know if you guys like exercise or work out much, but that just made me think then of a very similar thing with when you said about, you know, many say exercise is medicine and you guys obviously said laughter is medicine. Totally agree with that. But going to the exercise side of things, really, if you think about it, it's a very similar thing, isn't it? It's like if you'd never ever been to a gym before, or I don't know, let's say you decided to take up boxing, you'd have to go and seek that help. You wouldn't just walk into a gym and think, right, I'm just going to figure it out. You know, you probably would look, right.
Plenty of blokes do.
Yeah.
Plenty of blokes, you see them doing ridiculous exercises on exercise machines because they don't want to ask a personal trainer.
Correct. And ideally, what you'd be better doing is at least maybe having a look online, right, what exercise is going to build me bigger biceps or whatever it is you want, you know what I mean? It's just, but again, many won't do it, will they? You know, they'll just go in and think, I'll just give it a whirl.
You must come across, you know, in your job, you must come across, well, you know, training and things like that. I know, are you a fireman as well, is it? And then, yeah. So, I mean, you must come across people who have been to the gym for years, but don't know how to actually do a proper rep or and they're saying, oh, I'm not getting any gains or I'm not getting anything else. And then you teach them just an easier way.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Could have saved them years, couldn't it?
Yeah, could have saved them years. Same with mental health, you know, could have saved you years and years of feeling down, or getting to a serious point where you're not speaking by just going to see somebody who knows how to do it properly.
That's what I wish I had, you know, put my ego aside and the thought of being embarrassed for a matter of seconds to go and seek the help years ago. And I don't think I would have gone through the dark patches. Mm-hmm. I think I would have just, you know, understood for where I am now. I understand the problem. I understand when things aren't going right. I understand how to deal with it. But I've wasted years not doing that, and there's knock-on effects of, you know, upset relationships, problems at home, and stuff like that. And could have avoided all that, but because I had an ego and wanted to avoid embarrassment for, like I said, a matter of seconds for asking for help, because you're a bloke, you don't know ask anyone for help. You know, I could have saved myself years and years. But you know, that's why we want to reach out to people and let them know that, you know, you don't have to keep it in, you don't have to hold it in. It's better to go talk to someone, and you know, it will get better.
Yeah, absolutely. So with you guys doing this, you know, you're doing your podcast, you've now moved into like I've seen, you know, you do your online sort of blog, and you know, moving on to the whole YouTube thing, which we'll talk about shortly. But has this sort of led to any, you know, like connections with maybe charities or anything like that? Have you had anything like that come from it, or have you decided to just approach any yourselves to maybe see if you can sort of spread your message further?
Yeah, we definitely chatted with people, and you know, they're coming back to us, and we're setting up things, you know, behind the scenes, ways that we can maybe, you know, promote other charities like the Mind charity, or like these guy. Let's get men talking.
Let's get men talking. He's on Twitter. He's massive on getting blokes just to air their problems. Because women can all get together on a coffee morning on Monday, and they can go one end of the scale to the other, and everything's fine. It's, you know, it's brushed off. But men, you know, you go out to the pub with your mate, and if you said to him, "Oh, yeah, mate, I don't feel too great," they go, "Have another beer, mate. You'll be all right." You know what I mean? That's how men deal with it. But yeah, just trying to get men talking, get blokes to, even if it's, you know, even if they, you know, they're concerned about certain things, it's better to speak out now. Better to get your voice across, and then people can put you in the right directions to help you with any, like, for example, put you down to the Mind charity, go down the Mind charity route, go down, follow the Twitter page, Let's Get Men Talking, and it, you know, really does help.
Mm-hmm. I'll definitely be having a look for that. Let's get men talking. Was it? Did you say?
Yeah. I mean, there is plenty of them out there, plenty of different charities and things like that we. But the thing is, it's all about trying to network and find the right, you know, opportunity, the right avenue to go down when it comes to podcasts, when it comes to the, you know, blogs, things like that. It's just finding the right way of putting the message across. And I think, you know, some charities, they don't really, they're not that interested, because we do a bit of swearing and we do a bit of everything else. So they're you know, sometimes they have to be a bit careful, don't they? But but then other ones really, really, you know, approaching us and saying, you know, how can we work together and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully in the pipeline soon we'll we'll have some.
Nice. So then, what the whole YouTube thing is pretty new, isn't it, guys? You've only taken this up very recently, haven't you? So what's you know, was it just a similar thing? Well, sorry, let's start putting it on video. Was there a particular thing you thought we should have filmed that, so let's start filming other stuff, or how did that look like?
You couldn't, half the stuff we've done, and if you put it on camera, people would, well, we get arrested, we get locked up. But no, we basically, you know, we sort of, you know, we both went through some dark patches. We had kids and we were struggling and we got voice to each other. But we've sort of adopted this process now, as if we want to do something, we just go and do it. I'll back Matt to the cows come home and vice versa. So we always, you know, you see other podcasts on YouTube and, you know, you think, you know, I think, you know, we've got the capabilities of doing that.
And it was also the fact that people were saying to us, weren't they, that it feels like when we're listening to your podcast, it feels a little bit like being down the pub. But some people say it feels like you're just down the pub with you and having a chat. And some people say it sounds like, you know, you get them two idiots sat next to you having, you know, a big, long conversation. And you're like, oh, sure, mate, I'm just trying to have a beer. But we thought, why not force ourselves upon them even more by being visually, and you can be there in the pub with us, having that drink and having that beer. So yeah, if you don't want to be there, you're now definitely there in the pub with us.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I'm going to try and encourage anybody listening to make sure they go and listen to your podcast and check out your YouTube videos. But give us a couple of tastes. We'll talk about what we've just been speaking about before we started recording with because anyone who's not watching this on YouTube, if you're listening, Ben's drinking quite a bit of milk. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you what, tell us why you're doing it.
I've done 2 pints in a matter of 10 minutes.
Well, we thought now we're visual, a little bit more visual. Why not do something a bit more visual than normal? You know, take advantage of that. So we decided to have a dad joke off, right? So the challenge was we had to say our best dad jokes backwards and forwards, and then the first person to smile or of any sort had to spin the wheel. And it was a chili challenge. So we had a selection of chilies. We had the Carolina Reaper, the world's hottest chili. Scotch bonnets, you know, bird's eye chilies, Skittles, spicy Skittles, the lot. So yeah, and we had to spin that quite a few times. And Ben got 2 Scotch bonnets and a Carolina Reaper, so he's in a bit.
And you got a Carolina Reaper and all.
I did. I got a Carolina Reaper, yeah, but
and then some Skittles, which was cute.
And some Skittles, just to yeah.
To be honest with you, I think you've done well coming on and even being able to speak.
my tongue is numb at the moment.
I thought I was going to vomit at one point. To be honest, you looked in a bad way. Yeah.
I remember
Ben didn't do spicy stuff very well, so it was a real big thing for him. I mean, he's cancelled 4 or 5 times with excuses I've never heard before. So he's
he's finally got that verruca out.
Yeah, finally got that ingrown hair sorted. So it's we're here, we've done it. It's done well, I think.
I remember a few years back, my brother, if he does ever listen to this, he might correct me, but I think he had something like a naga curry, and the chili that came on top, he decided to eat it. And I remember him saying he said he genuinely thought his heart was going to stop. He said it was just unreal.
Well, that's how coincidentally, that's how I built up a tolerance for spicy food, because
you've got a tolerance for spicy food?
A little bit, but now I tell you.
Yeah, you kept that quiet.
Is when Autumn's mum was pregnant, we was trying to get her out anywhere we could, and it was it turned to spicy stuff that said curries. Yeah. And we both like a takeaway, so it was an excuse every night to get spicier and spicier. We went vindaloos, everything else, and we ended up on the Naga garlic chilies every night. And but I got dragged along with it. You know, she was saying, "Oh, well, I need these," so I had to carry on having them and pretend I was all right with them.
And your toilet bowl was the right mess.
Oh, it's disgusting. I was like, honestly, well poo for days.
Nice. So what's the big plans, guys? Because obviously, I mean, it's clearly the podcast is doing well. Hopefully the YouTube channel is doing well, or will start doing well. But have you got like anything, any sort of like really big goals you want to achieve with this, or is it just,
I think,
let's just see what happens?
Have you seen Joe Rogan's Spotify deal?
Yeah, I have, mate, and I'll be honest with you, I'm on
100 mil, we'll take it.
I'm on a similar.
I think firstly, Dan, we'd like to have you on our podcast as well.
Yeah,
I think we'd like to have you on.
Absolutely.
And we'll get the chilies out.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I don't know. See, nah.
As a fireman, you're used to putting out fires, so you'll be all right with the heat.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe try something else.
Yogurt challenge.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, no problem. So, we've sort of covered this before, but we're going to go for it again. As we said, we've recorded in the past, and what I always like to do is get my guests to tell us a bit of an embarrassing story. Now, you guys have mentioned, you got up to all sorts of mad shit when you were at uni. Not necessarily when you're at uni, maybe when you've grown up a bit, if you've grown up yet, like most of us haven't. Take your time, guys. I'd appreciate if I could get one each from you. So whoever wants to go first, fire away. Give us a nice, funny or embarrassing story.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to. Well, I've actually just told us an embarrassing story about an STD clinic on the podcast, but it's I don't know if I'll. Do you want to know about? Oh, go on, if you've got one.
At uni halls when I.
No, I can't do that, mate.
No, you can't.
Well, I'll do this.
You can say what you want on this.
No, I know I can, but it's I don't want to get I don't want to break up a marriage. No, I'm only joking. I'll tell you about slug and lettuce because maybe remember the slug and lettuce.
Yeah.
So yeah, what happened was we'd had an heavy night the night before. We'd gone out. We'd enjoyed ourselves to the extreme, and the next day we went for a platter. One of these at slug and lettuce. You get the onion rings, everything else like that.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll have a bit of this, have a bit of this food. But unfortunately, fatty food, real greasy food, and alcohol from the next day don't do wonders for your stomach. So we're chatting away for each other, and all of a sudden I've just gone, and Ben knows what's happened instantly. I don't know how, but he knows, and he went, "You've shit yourself, haven't you?" So I said,
and
yeah.
This was a Saturday after. This was Saturday evening in Slug and Lettuce, where it's full of women,
absolutely full of to the walls with beautiful women. And not only because I'm hungover, because we've just woken up in the middle of the day as students, hungover, not knowing what you're doing. I've put on these rubbish khaki like combat trousers. I don't know where they were from. I think they were from the 90s or something, but I've got them from somewhere.
Did you have anything else underneath them?
But again, because I'm hungover and I don't do my washing properly as a student, I've gone commando as well. So I've sat there, and the mess down the back is not something to be. So now we've had to come up with a plan, and I've gone. I need to get out of here and I need to get washed immediately because this is like I'm like a newborn baby at the moment. He said, but near the door was these absolute, honestly, legs to the ceiling, beautiful women just here, and I thought, how do we get? So I had to walk ahead, and he had to sort of shuffle behind me like we're doing the conga, and I'm sort of like trying to keep everything
so
together.
They couldn't see it.
So they couldn't see it, yeah.
And you had your hand behind you, though, holding it.
Yeah. Just wobbling out.
Swinging like a little walnut, swinging in the back of his pants.
Yeah, like a little toddler who's had an accident. So so then we got to the car, and then I realised I'd driven. So I said, I can't drive, can I? Because I'd have to fully sit down on the seat. So I had to sit passenger seat. He had to drive, and I had to like hover over the seat the whole way.
Looking like you're on a commode.
Yeah. So then we got home. But the problem here is, I lived with a load of lasses at the time, and again, good-looking lasses. They were just, it's awkward anyway living with a bunch of girls, as the only lads. And then, and we lived in a sort of kitchenette situation. So they're all in the front room, and there's the kitchen here, and it's sort of like a shelf hidden behind these shelves. So I've had to sort of get naked basically from the waist downwards, and shuffle, like army crawl, all the way to the washing machine with a shitty ass, shove it in, and then sort of like pull myself back, leaving a snail trail behind me. Now, I didn't really, but I did have to like just shuffle out a little bit.
Yeah.
And clean myself up. So that was an awkward and really embarrassing situation for me. Even more embarrassing now the girls know about it if they listen to this video. So.
Fingers crossed they do. Yeah.
So,
was that the end of it? Did you go back out? Did you just call it a day?
Well, I decided to leave Matt on his own in his room, so I thought he can't be trusted outside.
Just sat on my own and thought about it, really. Stared at the wall and had a little...
You fucking idiot!
You idiot!
You've done it again!
So, So, let it roll down. So, just had a little think about, how I could better myself the next day and just take some...
And those Pampers came in handy, didn't they?
Yeah, take a nappy out with me, take some Rennies, something different. But, what about you, Ben?
Yeah.
Well, following on, my story quite similar to Matt's. About when I went to visit my grandma. I was about 12, between 12 and 13. We've gone up to my grandma, my granddad's house, and my granddad, my mum, and my dad have gone out for the day. And I'm off school. That's why I've gone with them. I'm off school, so I'm sat in my grandma's living room, just watching telly. I think I was watching wrestling or something. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I need to go to the toilet. So I've just nipped up. My grandma's cleaning in the kitchen, as they always do, with her hair all done up to the nines, the big earrings, the big house dress. So I've popped in downstairs, I'm having a wee. And I can hear like the wrestling started back on the telly. So I thought, oh Christ, so I've pushed out a wee to make it come out quicker. And then I've gone, oh, what's that then? And I've looked down and I'm in shorts. And the top of my white sock has like a brown trail all the way down from the back of my leg to my white sock at the top. I'm going, well, that wasn't there before. And then it's carry on flooding down. And I've gone, I've shit myself. So I've immediately got some toilet roll, tried to clean myself up. And I thought, I need to go upstairs. I can't do, my grandma's in the next room. I need to go upstairs, clean myself up, throw my boxers out the window or whatever. And hopefully can salvage wearing these trousers. My grandma was nowhere to be seen, so I opened the downstairs loo about 3 inches, and her face comes straight into. She's like, "You're right." I didn't know what to say, so I went, "I've pooed myself," and she's gone, "Oh, that's all right." So, cut a long story short, she's sorted me out. And my mum and dad and my granddad have come back, and I'm sat in the living room watching wrestling, wearing my old granddad's work trousers, which are hanging over my leg by about 2 foot. And I said to my nana, I said, please don't tell them, please. And she said, no, I won't. And my dad popped his head around the corner, and he's going, all right, shitty pants. So, we haven't seen them in a long, long time.
All I could think about during you was telling the story was that your description of your grandma when you said she was cleaning the house, she had big gold earrings and a floral dress on, and all I could think was Kim and Aggie, Kim from Kim and Aggie. Yeah. Did she look like Kim and Aggie?
Well, that's fucking offensive.
No, sorry, I'm just thinking about it. Because the gold earrings, I didn't know.
Yeah, no, she done up to the nines, and her grandson just shit herself and shit himself in downstairs.
Yeah. I can't, when you form an image of like a story, someone's telling a story, and all I could imagine was Kim from Kim and Aggie saying, "You're okay there, dear." So all right, sorry.
I was exactly the same then. I was getting an image in my head. You may have seen this, and if you've not, I'll send it you. But there's a meme of Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a meme of him on like the red carpet somewhere, and the outfit he's wearing is just unreal. Right, and it says, when you're at your nan's and you've shit yourself, and there's,
that's exactly how it was.
That's all I could picture in my head then as you were telling that.
Brilliant. Looking like Harry Styles in his pearl necklace.
It was just my.
There you go.
Yeah. It was it was very embarrassing, and for like years and years and years, every time we'd go up to my nana's, my dad would be like, "Oh, hold on a minute," and he'd go and get like a pair of nappies and put them in the back of the car. I think I'm going to shit myself up there again, because he's a joker, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Right, lads. So we're almost pretty much, ready to call it a day now, and leave you guys to get on with your evening. So can you let the lads and ladies who are listening know where they can catch you, whether it be for the podcast, the blog, the YouTube, everything, guys, wherever they can catch you?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, Lads to Dads Podcast. We've got a website, www.ladsdads ladstodads.com.
Mhm.
We've got Twitter. We've got what else we got?
Facebook,
and then we've also got our Spotify and Instagram and
YouTube.
No, what's the iTunes, Apple iTunes, and everywhere you get a podcast, really.
Brilliant.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, nice, and that's where you need to be, innit? If you want to improve the outreach and all that good stuff.
That's it.
Right,
That's
fellas.
it.
So we'll call it a day there. I really appreciate you coming on in the first place, but obviously coming on for a second time after the disaster that was the first one from, which was all my fault. Obviously, it was a good episode, which was a shame. But maybe I'll release it one day.
And honestly, we want to get you on ours. So
it'd be nice to have you on ours, Dan. Get you come down and we'll have a laugh.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you said you're going working away for a few weeks now, aren't you, Matt? So
I'll be away for 6 weeks from Tuesday. But
yeah. Let's look to schedule something in. I'll be up for that, definitely.
Sounds good.
Brilliant.
Right,
Cheers.
Well, thanks for having us, Dan.
No worries. Take it easy, boys. And I'll
See you later, mate. Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.